I just found it very disrespectful.
How are you sorry if you're laughing at the matter when it's brought up? At home, you probably would have blocked me.
Hi guys, it's Jodie here from OGE, and I have pulled one of the Love Island couples that have certainly kept us entertained. It's Shaq and Tanya. Oh, I don't even know where to begin with you two. Honestly, I feel like
the intro for me.
there's so much to cover. How are you? How's life? How have you found things since you've come out?
We're good. It's very weird.
It's very weird.
Adjusting to everything. People stopping us for like pictures, knowing who you are and all that stuff. It's crazy, but it's been nice though as well.
It's been fun to like chill and literally sit there and watch movies and watch like Family Guy, just chilling. Like it's just the little things that you miss as well. Like it's been weird but fun to be back.
Yeah.
I feel like our relationship is just starting now, probably.
Do you feel like a lot of pressure comes off your shoulders once you leave because you can do those normal things?
Yes, I feel like yes and no.
Yeah.
There's pressure to like, you know, keep up appearances and things like that, and
everyone's
watching your every move at the same time. But me and Tanya, we've always had like good communication, and we know like spending time with each other is very important. Obviously, we're both very busy now, but
we're always running. I'm literally like free, literally one day free. I'm like running to London, like I'm not gonna waste it.
And how's it been coming out to social media? Because I know there's been a lot of opinions shared on you both. I mean, I think these were like trending multiple times.
Literally. No, I feel like personally for me, it's been. I knew what I was coming out to. I knew people were not going to like what I did in Casa. I knew they were not going to like certain things that I may have said. But not everyone is going to like me. Like, I already knew that coming out, but I didn't think that people were so invested as much as they were. Like, I think they see us as movie characters, but really we're real people, like, with real feelings. So.
Yeah, we kind of knew what to expect, really.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as we came out of the villa, me and Tanya, I literally said to her, like, I've got your back and she's got mine, sort of thing. So like, all I've said from ages ago, as long as me and Tanya know what it is between us, like, that's all that matters.
No one can get in between. So coming out and seeing all them comments, everyone can say what they want to say, but one day they like you, one day they don't like you. So it will change and it's not going to last forever. People will forget, it's going to be over soon. And that's why it's not got to me. I even shocked myself that the hate and stuff like that is not getting to me, but I'm just gliding through it because I know what I have. My family knows, my friends know, his family knows. It's all that matters.
It's like you two against the world, Shaq and Tanya against the world.
No, that's our slogan.
That's what we've been saying. Like,
in the villa, we were like, it's me and you against the villa, and then he would be like, against the world, against it all.
And let's talk about the reunion. Let's firstly take a moment for that dress. Tanya, you looked insane. Yellow was your colour.
Oh, the commotion for the dress.
She looked unbelievable.
Oh, thank you so much. I literally wanted to give reunion. Yes. I wanted to give I'm here. Even if you don't like me, look at the dress.
You looked very dapper as well, I have
Thank
to
you
say.
very
With
much.
that yellow dress.
But you know what? I know, like, she looks stunning, so I'm just next to her. I'm just like,
I look alright.
Well, let's talk about the reunion then.
Oh,
my, that was awkward.
It was.
But did you feel like that was stuff built up that you wanted to say?
Yeah, it was definitely something that needed to be addressed. It was something that was on my mind. Me and Tanya had spoken about it before, and I just needed an explanation, sort of thing, because I just found it very disrespectful. Even like talking about like a female in general like that, and then the fact that she's my girlfriend as well. On top of that, especially after everything,
the fact that it never happened.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it just didn't happen, but you're just coming out and saying stuff like that. It's just very weird. So I just wanted to address it, get an explanation, and you could hear that he was and R-ing sort of thing, which kind of explained what it was, and then that was it really.
In the villa, between you and Martin, it was dealt with so well, like so amicably. There was no drama, and then it's just happened now that it's on the outside.
But that's how you know that when some people come out, especially Martin, he's come out and he's, you know, people have liked him a lot, but then he's taken that and then he's made up stories that happened. Yeah, I made Shaq cry. Why are you boasting about that? Even if it was true, which it isn't, why would you sit there and boast about it? And it doesn't make sense. And then to talk about me like that, oh, I would sleep with Tanya in so many ways, like that's so disgusting. Why are you even saying that? So weird.
I had heard it from some of my friends, said that he's been saying stuff on podcasts, and I was like, oh, what's he been saying? And then I went and actually saw it myself, and I was like, how can you speak about a woman like that? And firstly, and secondly, it didn't even happen. So he's got this whole thing going about he's the reason why I was crying, when actually the reason why I was crying with Tom is because I was missing home, It'd all become quite a lot sort of thing. And that was the reason. But he's just taken that and said, oh, this is the reason, to try and get attention and things like that, when I'm here to say that did not happen.
And how were things after the reunion then? Did you speak to Martin afterwards, or was it just keep it separate?
No, Martin's not someone we're ever gonna speak to. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say to Martin. Like, he's just strange, and we have nothing to speak about. You know, that's it.
There's nothing else to say.
Literally, we didn't even see him, and he just disappeared.
It just needed to be addressed at the reunion in front of everyone to see what he was saying. Of course, he's gonna apologize because I called him out on it.
That was funny. He thought he was smart by apologizing. You're not sorry. The minute Shaq brought that up, he started laughing. So how are you sorry if you're laughing at the matter when it's brought up? Like, he thought he was smart.
But yeah, there's nothing else that needs to be said about Martin.
No.
Now looking back, Tanya, at Casa, do you kind of regret that even more now?
Yes, obviously. I feel like it's a yes and no for me, because I regret it because of how I can see how he is now. I did feel it that he just wasn't for me anyway, which is why quickly when I got back from Casa, I was missing Shaq straight away. But seeing him now is just like, that would have never been for me, ever. But then I don't regret it in the sense of like, we wouldn't have gotten stronger the way we did after. We thought we were fine, but then that happened, and then we got over, and we were like, oh my God, as if we just got over that. That was something that really could have broke us, and he couldn't have taken me back, but we got over it. And it's like, you regret it, but you don't, because everything that you do takes you to a place that you're meant to be. So, yeah, I don't regret it, but
And this is awkward, Shaq, but I'm going to bring this up because we had Lydia and Layla in here, and they were talking about Casa more, and they said that you were quite flirtatious. Is this...
Oh my God.
But are you a flirtatious guy anyway?
But that's like me in general.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, even in the main villa before Casa and more, like, I'm a very, like, quite a flirty guy until I'm in a relationship, of course. But yeah, I'm a flirty guy. Like, I'll make like little comments here and there. And obviously in Casa and more, I wasn't just gonna sit there and do nothing. Like, you're gonna speak to people, have conversations, and see if there was a connection. So I did like throw myself in there, but the whole time I'm thinking about Tanya. So from time that's happening, it's like it wasn't really for me. So I did try. I was very flirty and things like that. She knows what I'm like. She knows what I'm like as well. So it's like at the time in that environment, you kind of have to just like throw yourself into it. But yeah, my heart was with Tanya.
Just before Casa, you guys had kind of been arguing a little bit. Do you think that caused a bit of tension before you went away? Like, had that have been resolved beforehand, do you think it might have been different?
I'll let Tanya answer that. Because I mean, I like, even though that had happened, in my head, obviously I was still thinking about Tanya, and I wanted to be respectful and all that stuff.
It's kind of like, you know, think about in real life, if you have an argument with someone you're getting to know, and you go outside, you're not gonna like go and get to know the people just because you had an argument. But in there, it's completely different. Like, it's like, this is your boyfriend, but it's not your boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? So we had our little tiff before Casa and more, but it was still like, it wasn't like, oh my God, I want to cancel him. Like, I don't want him anymore. It was just like, oh, we're going through this shit. Casa and more happened.
Yeah.
And then going to Casa and more now, it was like meeting Martin, and then it was like, you're comparing in your head, even though you're not meant to compare, but you're comparing like, this one's got this one's got that, but it was still Shaq, you know? But it was like, oh, Martin's nice right now, but I don't know anything else about Martin. I just known him for the few days that I did, and that's what I had to go with, so it was a bit of a weird one.
And I think people suggested and maybe noticed that Martin was kind of acting different once you got back to the main villa, and that you were kind of his ticket into the main villa. Do you think that was the case?
Martin was, like, I saw hints of Martin's actual personality in Casa More, but I chose to ignore them because I was like, I don't know him that much, so I can't judge him straight away. And then we went into the main villa. He was a bit strange. Like, he was analysing everything I was doing, literally, like, proper analysing. And he'd be like, oh, are you okay? Constantly. And then being like, oh, you're being different. And I'm like, I've ignored Shaq for 3 days to speak to you and give you my time. And he'd be like, you're not giving me your time. And I'm like, what did you want from me? And then it started to make me feel weird. And I was just like, no, this is not for me.
And how hard was that for you, Shaq? Because obviously you were just kind of put in a weird position.
I was floating for a few days. I was literally floating around. But to be fair, Tanya will tell you this herself. I was in that gym every day, and I'd come out looking good after a few days.
You know, I would be speaking to Martin, and I'm like, yeah, And I'm like, Shaq looks good.
You know what though? In that environment, it's probably it's literally the only environment where you'll speak to someone, you have a connection with someone, but you'll see them get to know someone else, and there's no escape. Like, even though it was hard for me when she came back and everything like that, you do have to kind of sit and watch. But as much as it may have been hard, I did just sit back, let her do her thing, because all along I knew where she was coming back to, because I've gotten to know Tanya for a month before Casa happened. So I know like her little body language and how she is and whatever, and it just didn't look natural, didn't look like she was happy. She was upset around the villa and things like that. So that's why you even saw me go up to her and say, listen, don't feel like you can't talk to me and I hope that you're okay, because I knew she was upset. So I just let her do that for a second, because of the environment that we're in. Like, it's Love Island, you're supposed to get to know people, all this stuff. But I knew where her heart really was.
And I feel like love conquers all, so it must have taken quite a lot to swallow your pride to then obviously reconcile.
At home, you probably would have blocked me and moved on.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know
that's
what I
why
mean?
it's different. Like, on the outside, I probably would never seen her, spoken to her again.
Yeah.
But being in that environment and like my feelings for her were so strong and are so strong, and as much as I wanted to be mad, it was literally every conversation I would have about it, be like, I want to be mad at her, I want to hate her, but at the same time, but I love her. So it's hard to like go in between both, do you know what I mean? But you know, as soon as like after the few days, and then she made that speech, which no one's ever done for me before. I was like,
never done that.
I mean, it was lovely, but obviously there was points where like, Tanya, you could have missed that out. Like, you watched it back.
No, that speech, I did watch it back, and you know, watching it back, I'm like,
yeah.
Maybe I should have left that one out.
She could have left a couple of things out.
Yeah, I could have left that one out, and I apologise to Martin about that, because I was like, yeah, I should have told you earlier, but you know, we were where we were, and I just felt like I just need Shaq back right now, and I was like, this is the perfect time. But yeah, that one kind of slipped out, and I was like, that was actually really bad.
And then after that, she was grafting, like, she was grafting after that.
You didn't see it though, because it just looked like I did what I did, came back, said what I said, and
that was it.
You took me back, but actually it wasn't like, it was much longer than that.
Yeah.
A big moment as well was when your families came in, and particularly your sister, Shaq. Was everything okay?
No, honestly, like, my sisters, they love Tanya. Obviously, when my sister came into the villa,
protective mode.
They're my older sisters. So even though we're only a couple of years difference, they're very protective of me, and it was hard for them to see me going through the things I was going through in the villa. So she did give Tanya a piece of her mind, but after that, they've seen each other, obviously, when we came back home and things like that. And they love Tanya, and they calling her, they're saying that she's gorgeous and she's such a nice girl and all this stuff, and they see how happy that she makes me, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah,
I get where they're coming from though, because I can imagine being like, if I was them, I would be like, don't let this girl walk all over you just because she's a little cutie thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, no, because watching from home, you'd be like, oh my God, can't wait to speak to her and tell her about herself. So I understood like where she was coming from, but I was like, she'll see soon that I'm not like that.
And one of my favourite moments in the villa, but also one of the moments where I just wanted the ground to swallow me up, was the Dashies argument. I feel like we spoke to Ron and Lana about this, and I was saying only on British television would there be arguments about the dish.
We literally looked at it after, and we were like, do you know how stupid that was?
That was like,
but in there, it was like, oh my God.
You know what it is? Everything in there is just heightened times 10. So it's like, you know what? I really wouldn't be like bothered by it. But you know, it was a long night. Obviously, we'd done all the cooking and things like that. And then
you just see one person chilling.
You just see one person. I'm like,
what are you doing?
Yes, I admit I went a bit too far with that. But you know what? Me and Ron had a conversation about that literally like the day after. We was just like, we literally laughed about it and things like that. And I've seen it back, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like,
well, Ron, in his defence, he said that he'd actually been doing dishes for 20 minutes beforehand.
Yeah,
he was, but then all the boys carried on.
But then we had more to do.
Come back.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, nah, honestly,
you've been putting in work.
One's a good friend, and we talk about it and we laugh about it now, and even I laugh about it, but. Yeah, at the time it was a different story.
And you made it to the final, like, could you believe it?
That's mad. That's so crazy.
I can't believe we made it to the final, because it's so hard to stay in that villa, you know. It's not about you being a nice person, it's not about you being in your couple. People are watching and they're criticising, they're voting. It's very hard to stay, and we were in the bottom so many times, and I was like, you know what, I don't think we're going to make it.
Yeah.
If anyone said that we're actually going to make it to the final,
wouldn't have believed them.
I wouldn't have believed it, honestly. I would have said other people before us, and the fact that we made it there and we were still together and we conquered everything.
It's such an achievement, honestly, like to make it that far, because we've obviously been there since day one and lasted the whole 8 weeks. I could have, when he was in the bottom beforehand, we could have gone at that point and been happy, because we was together and we was happy, sort of thing. So it wouldn't have been any different. But to make it all the way to the end, came and found a girlfriend, fell in love.
Yeah.
Like, what else could you really ask for?
Guys, honestly, thank you so much. You kept us so entertained in there.
I'm glad
and I
somebody
wish
was
you
laughing.
all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
having
for having
us.
us.
We appreciate it.